Are PCs really getting banned? I don't think so.
And let's talk a little bit more about the Steam Deck and some news about its specs.
More on that on this episode of the podcast. This is going to be episode number 59. I am Francisco.
I'm Chris.
And if you're currently watching on YouTube, then do make sure to keep an eye on the social media that is going to be right down here.
And of course, if you are listening in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, all of that will be in the respective description.
That's right. So with that said, we wanted to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons. And this time I have them memorized. So firstly, to the tier 3s. Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna wait till okay, keep going.
Mostly to the tier 3s over here, and those are going to be Sadal, Wazal, Omar, and Joe Moss. Thank you so much for all your support, because it really does go a very long way. And we also wanted to acknowledge the tier 2s as well. So Armani, C, Luke, Rix Rocks, Maury, and there's one more person. There's definitely one more person somewhere.
I thought you said you had this memorized.
I thought I did. Okay, hang on. This is going to be the running joke for every single episode, it seems. Until I somehow get a grip on it.
We are so sorry.
Yeah, we are. Where am I? No, you guys will be fine, right? Okay.
Wait, also, which podcast is this?
This is the Tech Summit podcast.
Okay, yeah, because you only said the podcast. We are the podcast, guys.
Yeah. Oh, I did get everyone.
Hey!
That's why I forgot.
All right, from the top again.
Yeah. So thanks again to the tier 3s, which are going to be Sato, Wazal, Omar, and Joe Moss. Thank you so much. The tier 2s are Monty, Rix Rocks, Maury, C, and Luke. Thank you for all of your support, because it really does go a very long way. And now, we would like to announce the winner of the giveaway. The giveaway was for the Raycon H20, and the winner for the giveaway for the month of July is going to be C, one of our tier 2 patrons. Thank you so much for pledging to the Patreon, and we do hope that you enjoy the Raycon H20. I'm going to be reaching out to you soon so that I'm able to send these out to you on the mail. And yeah, now for next month, for the month of August, to all of our tier 2s and tier 3s, we're going to be giving away
a giveaway chance.
Yes. Only one person gets to win. I did not mean to imply that everyone was going to win.
Everyone on the Patreon from tier 2 and tier 3 will be entered
to
into
win
a giveaway to win
the Razer Siren Mini in white, the classiest color that they currently have. And you will also get to choose whatever piece of merch that you want from the Spreadshop Teespring. Spreadshop Tech Summit merch store. So yeah, you're going to be winning. Well, the winner is going to be winning the Razer Siren Mini in white and one piece of merch of their choosing. And I will be mailing those out to you after announcing the winner at the end of August. So yeah, best of luck to all of you.
Of course, remember to enter these giveaways for a chance to win these prizes and stuff like that. Definitely subscribe to the Patreon, tier 2s or tier 3s. You also get bonus uncensored episodes of the Tech Summit podcast where we say bad words.
Yeah, and depending on the tier, you also get early access to content, so to reviews and things like that.
That's
so
right.
Yeah, like it will really come in handy, I think.
Definitely. And let's try and sort of reset, because it seems like we've started off a little bit on the messier side here.
Right. Okay. Episode 59 of the Tech Summit podcast.
All right, ready, breathe. Breathe in. Breathe out. Stock scoop.
I did not know this was happening. Tell me more.
And that concludes the stock scoop.
Sounds like everything is tanking then.
Actually, no, let's bring it back a little bit.
Oh, we really are messy this time.
No, I'm bringing it back. Okay, so the stocks that people want to care about are doing pretty badly. But Costco has actually been on the up and up pretty good the last month or so now. Costco has had a 14.95% increase over the last 3 months now.
Wow.
8.2% of that being this past month and 1.53 being this week. So Costco has gone up to $429.72.
Holy, that's a lot. That's a lot more than GameStop was at the time.
I mean, Costco in general has just been worth more. Like Costco
Always?
is worth. I'm looking at the data for the last year or so.
How's BJ's actually?
I will
kinda
check
curious
that.
about that. Yeah.
I will check that. But yeah, over the last year, its worst performance was at 311. Costco is a fairly reliable stock with a decent amount of value to it. Again, it has been on the up and up though. Like its valley was in March, and it's just been steadily rising upwards since then.
And so it's been, I mean, it went up by roughly around $100, like a little bit more than that over the past month. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, no, they've definitely been doing pretty well for themselves. BJ's $50.
Really?
Yeah, I mean Costco is a bigger brand.
Is it?
I would consider it, yeah, easily. I would consider Costco. I feel is national, whereas BJ's more regional.
I don't know.
I know Sam's Club is pretty regional, or that other one that's on Fry's. Fry's is on the West Coast. That's a regional one.
Got it.
But Costco, I feel, is completely nationwide. They are a lot more ubiquitous in like popular culture. If you remember Idiocracy, that movie.
Uh-huh.
Welcome to Costco. We love you.
I've never been inside of a Costco.
Really?
Yeah.
You've never been inside Costco?
Never. BJ's I visit all the time, but
You've never been inside Costco?
not a single time in my lifetime.
We got to take you to a Costco sometime. There's one by me.
Okay. Yeah, please, by all means. I could use doing all of my shopping long distance.
I fully believe that another reason why Costco is as popular as it is because of their food court.
And you still need like a membership card, right? Like in
Yeah.
order to shop there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so same as BJ's.
Yeah, these are wholesale membership places.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no. Costco's food court is legendary because it is super cheap, but the portion sizes are really big.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking like $2.50 or something like that for like a foot-long hot dog.
I have never seen one of those, so
Or like,
take me there.
Or like a similar price for a massive slice of pizza. And it's like Costco pizza in particular is really notable.
Is it good?
I like it.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. Then yes.
It ain't gonna be some New York slice, but like it's still like it's still a Costco pizza.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I think that New York City pizza is kind of overhyped anyway.
Now you can get out. now you can leave.
Well, I guess I'll just be stepping out for a moment.
That concludes the episode of the Tech Summit podcast.
Lies. I am Tech Summit. There's no... Your podcast, I'm Tech Summit.
And that concludes the Tech Summit channel.
Yeah, but the podcast is still here. And speaking of the podcast, yeah.
But yeah, no, BJ's has had a 5.76% increase in the last month. So it's also going pretty decently. It's making its highs, but Costco has just been sort of sailing pretty well.
Yeah, Costco definitely trumps there. That's pretty insane.
Bitcoin has also been going up, by the way. It's up to 41,000 now.
Oh,
just noting that at the very end.
I mean, that's actually down from where it was before.
It's down from its peak, but compared to the last month or so, where it was trailing around the 20s and 30,000s, it's actually like going back up.
Okay.
Dogecoin, a similar thing, although Dogecoin obviously is a way less significant increase. I am pretty deep in the red, but yeah.
I'm not laughing at your misfortune.
This is not about meme stocks in this case. I was talking about like a legitimate stock here.
Yeah.
Costco is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I feel, but
how's Save the Kids coin doing actually?
Huh?
How's Save the Kids coin doing actually? Is there any information on that?
Okay.
Save the Kids coin? You know what that is.
You have to remind me a little bit here.
Remember that whole situation where like a bunch of YouTubers were like advertising this new form of cryptocurrency called Save the Kids coin, and every time that somebody I think like bought a coin, they would donate a certain percentage of it to save the kids.
Okay, so I heard like references to this, but I did not know the full situation whatsoever.
Okay.
Please tell us.
I don't want to name names when it comes to who exactly was involved.
Right.
If you know about it, then you already know who it was, or what group of people it was. But essentially, it ended up being very much like a pump and dump scheme. A lot of them just ended up like selling as soon as they started advertising for it, because like when they started advertising for it, my understanding is that they like the value of the Save the Kids coin ended up going way up. So that's when others who weren't influencers started buying, and then like the coin quickly dropped in value right after that. However, like the influencers that ended up selling sold almost all of it. Some sold 2/3, some sold, like less of it. So, it really made a lot of these YouTubers / streamers look pretty terrible, because they got to profit big time from this, and then the people that they advertised to, they ended up losing a lot of money if they bought in.
Now, my question
because
is,
the company, like the site for Save the Kids, as far as I'm aware, is down as well.
did any of the money actually go to charities to help save the kids?
Most likely not.
That is horrible.
It's pretty
truly
bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
That is-
So that's where the whole Save the Kids thing came from.
No.
I thought you knew about it.
No, I mean, again,
surprised.
I heard about little things about this, but
Mhm.
like I was not very familiar with the actual situation whatsoever. I just heard YouTubers in trouble. I'm like, yep, sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you like exactly who in greater detail after we're done recording the podcast.
No
but
problem, of course.
yeah. Now
But,
on to the actual
I'm gonna
news.
say, that is in fact going to conclude a little bit on a somber note. Sock scoop.
Not financial advice. That's also where the meme came from. That whole thing. But
Really,
anyway,
not financial advice came from the GameStop fiasco, because like Wall Street Bets was being investigated for possible like stock manipulation, and so people were like trying to cover their tracks by being like, guys, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, so therefore I am not telling you what to do in the case of a pump and dump scheme. So yeah, no, it actually started with the GameStop stuff.
Okay. I honestly thought that it was with these particular YouTubers.
They merely
because-
adopted it.
Yeah. I suppose so.
I feel like that's going to be like one of the big sayings of 2021 between this is not financial advice and to the moon, like blank to the moon.
Speaking of to the moon,
game.
freakouts about gaming PCs being banned in several U.S. states started going to the moon, because it all started with, I would say, a fairly just vague rumor per se. I don't exactly know who started spreading this, but essentially, the original sentiment around what is happening is this. So, gaming PCs were supposedly getting banned in states like California, Vermont, and some other ones.
like what do we mean banned? Like
Banned as in, people thought you just weren't allowed to buy any.
so it wasn't a case of like
In those
people's,
states.
it wasn't like a case of like people's machines being bricked. It's more like an actual like ban on the hardware.
Yeah, like people not being able to get their hands on that.
Okay.
And the reason for this is because California in particular has a lot of issues regarding energy usage, and they wanted to cut down on that, on wasted energy. So,
Okay.
so people were saying that they kind of just thought, like gaming PCs would be just a great way of diminishing that. So everybody started freaking out. Certain channels started just to like as soon as they heard those words, like they just started spreading it like wildfire. Pun intended. Man, my sense of humor is dark today. So, what actually ended up happening is that a lot of these states have been working on regulation to just make it so that there is a limit to power draw from pre-builts only. So if you are building your own system, this does not affect you. But if you're buying a pre-built, like a lot of companies, like Dell, for instance, Origin, like at this time, as far as I'm aware, they're not shipping to California and some of those other states for that reason. Like now that piece of legislation is actually starting to come into effect, these companies now have to readjust to that. And it's essentially just just to make it so that these pre-builts actually do meet like the power requirements of those states, so that they don't end up sucking up as much energy as they normally would. So this initiative is not a bad thing by any means.
Yeah, no, it sounds honestly like a pretty sensible one. Encourage companies to be more energy efficient with their pieces.
Right. Well, at least with their pre-builts. Again, like if you're building your own PC, like it does not affect you at all.
I do think that's the thing. I feel like legislation should be targeted also, or specifically towards like just reducing the power consumption of components across the board for pre-built and custom. Like, just reduce the energy requirements.
Graphics cards, CPUs, like these are components that have become much more power hungry over the years.
Exactly, yeah.
They become a lot more powerful, granted. However, I don't think that these components are really going to be affected all that much, honestly, by this piece of legislation regardless.
No, that's why I feel like there should be other legislature specifically for that. Either that or reducing the energy requirements to create these components in the factories. Or both.
Yeah, hey, that could work.
Ideally both, but...
Yeah. I mean, I do believe in doing things for the environment. I recycle, not only because it's illegal not to, but also because I like the environment.
I don't know. Things like this are just like, it naturally makes sense to try and go for these things. And it is a concern that, we're in a sort of field or hobby or career, honestly, if we're talking about like the animation stuff. Like, we're talking about like a career that does, unfortunately, cost quite a bit of energy to work with. But like...
Yeah, but there's also a lot of unnecessary power waste that I certainly partake in at times. Like sometimes I think that I'm going to step away from my machine for 10 minutes, and that ends up being an hour for whatever reason. And that's just a whole hour of wasted energy.
Yeah.
That didn't really accomplish anything. So understandably, I mean, I'm definitely not the only person who does that. But understandably, energy companies in California are definitely not very happy about that, because it is a very easy way of avoiding wasting energy. Just put your computer to sleep or something like that.
Or unplug it, because you have the phantom power situation sort of thing in certain devices,
Yeah.
You could plug into a power strip and just turn off the strip later. And honestly, these are things that I should be doing, and I have not been.
Yeah.
I also put my computer on sleep a lot.
I always fully shut off my computer.
That's the problem. I'll be like, oh, I need these tabs for tomorrow, and so I'll put the computer on sleep instead.
Oh, they'll just reopen again for me.
I know.
Every day. So just do it.
You could just use Firefox, restore previous session, and for me, I'm just like...
Oh, I use Chrome.
Yeah, no, I'm a Firefox guy.
You?
Gross. Okay, this I guess is a free thing. I prefer Firefox partly because of privacy concerns.
Yep.
Google's track record with privacy is kind of spotty. But more specifically...
insanely spotty.
But more specifically, I use Firefox because, at least with my older machines that were not as powerful as what I have now, Chrome would be a massive hog of CPU and RAM.
Yeah, I get it.
Firefox was way more efficient, and so, I could have like YouTube open and listen to something while working on things, or I could browse the internet while I'm rendering something in the background. Like it was a lot more feasible and easier to do that with Firefox than it is with Chrome.
Yeah, I agree. And I understand. I just prefer Chrome's interface.
I totally understand, yeah.
Ultimately, and like it already has really good integration with Google services, obviously, and things like that. Like it's not going to make you log back in every time, or if you're already logged in on one Google service, it's just going to log you in on the rest of them too, or the ones that you would theoretically have access to. But yeah, like I get that.
Yeah.
And people, like just like take it easy. Honestly, like when I saw some of those headlines saying California is banning gaming PCs,
that sounds very fear-mongery. Yeah, it's like very much like they're taking our PCs, and it's like,
yeah. And the one person, like the one particular creator, he's a pretty big creator actually on the platform that I watch, but that a lot of my friends aren't fans of. It's a very specific individual. Hopefully it'll click.
Don't worry about it. Just continue.
Okay. So he made a video on it, and it just had that as a title, and like kind of at this point already knowing for kind of exaggerating things at times. So I was like, yeah, this probably isn't actually happening.
Very clickbaity, yeah.
Yeah, and then other creators that I also like started doing that as well, and I was like, wait, is this actually happening? So even I was kind of up in arms about that, but then people like Some Ordinary Gamers, Jay's 2 cents started clarifying everything that was going on around that, at least like thus far. And it is really like just like it in my opinion, it is a good initiative. Like I don't really see the issue with doing something like that, because ultimately a lot of us are very irresponsible with our computers. Like we leave them on for hours on that.
Extremely. And if you're talking about a state like California who constantly has issues directly related to the climate crisis and related to energy consumption and stuff like that, it's like you can't really fault California for being like, hey, so like half the state's on fire and we're not getting rain anymore. We should probably like do something about it. So like it feels like a lot of people, capital G gamers, were looking for a reason to be angry at something, which sounds about typical for like most of the internet at this point.
Maybe
looking for a reason to be angry.
Maybe, but I don't know. Like I saw the news myself, like just like that. Oh, California's banning gaming PCs, like quite a few times from different creators that I trust and that I like, and like I started to believe it. Like not because I was looking for something to hate. It was just like, wait a minute, if this many people that I trust are talking about it, then it. Like, wow, well, what's going on? Why?
You might be more nuanced, but you're going to have someone out there who sees that headline. They're going to be like, what? No, they're not taking my games. It's like...
Yeah, fair.
Like, they're going to get angry about it, and that's just what it is. It's outrage.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, oh, my mid-range PC.
That's just what happens on the internet, They just look for reasons to be angry. But, guys, just calm down. First off, they're not being banned, like you said. It's just an energy... thing. Now, you mentioned this in several states. Obviously, California is the one that we're talking about here. But what other states you said it was also included? Vermont, you said?
Yeah, it was happening in Vermont, Hawaii, Oregon, Colorado, and Washington.
Oh, so not New York yet.
No, it's like almost exclusively West Coast at the moment.
Gee, I wonder what recent natural disastrous events may have caused them to really consider climate change.
We don't talk about that on the Tech Summit podcast.
I wonder what might have caused that. What might have made them think.
Yeah. Like this stuff, I think it's a good thing that they're doing this. And again, like they are giving time to the companies to just like make adjustments to the way that they manufacture parts, and they're probably going to have one SKU for every state in the US versus making one SKU specific to the rest of the country and then one SKU specific to the countries that are going to have this legislature right now.
You would be surprised. You would be surprised. They probably would actually like split the difference that way.
I don't really think it's in their benefit to do so.
It's not in anyone's benefit, but I can totally believe that they do that. Kind of like how you'll have like California proposition warnings on the back of like shampoo bottles or whatever. Things like that, you know.
I guess so, like on your graphics card. Shampoo warning.
It's like proposition warning. This thing has components that are known to the state of California to cause cancer. You know, all that stuff. I think that's proposition 85 actually specifically.
Oh, well, someone knows their proposition.
Because it's on every product. And that's the thing. If every single product has things that may cause that, then remove it from the product. Don't just put the warning. I'm not in California. Just remove that component from the product. Just because I see that it might do that doesn't mean I like. Oh yeah, now I'm aware.
It doesn't mean I care.
I'm not gonna. That's not okay. Anyway, PCs.
Yeah, PC.
The thing that actually. I also
let's talk about shampoo. Now I'm passionate. No, I'm kidding. I don't care.
What's it called? I really do wish that there are more like energy efficient means for PCs going forward. Another example, like again, the answer for this could just be like turning off the phantom power outlet, but like something that I don't like is how even when my PC is off, my motherboard insists on having RGB light shows.
I don't know why your computer does that.
I thought that's just the motherboard itself being the motherboard. Like, I thought it's just like an advertising kind of thing where it's like even when the PC is off, it's glowing, so you just feel the magic getting ready, and then when you turn it on, there's a and everything else turning on. But it's like I don't like that, especially because my PC from that direction faces my bed, so like
it's
I'm
annoying.
Seeing that. That's also actually a problem when I say, for example, I do have to put my computer on sleep. The RAM will continue to like have its little light show. So like I'll be trying to sleep and I'm just seeing like,
oh gosh,
of like the lights, and it's like
okay, we'll look into some way of getting around that.
I would hope that there's like I don't need to see lights when my computer is off.
Well, I mean, you just put your computer to sleep, right?
When I put it to sleep, you have the RAM, but even when I put it fully off, the motherboard is still like having its light show.
Okay.
Like there's still RGBs on the motherboard, and it's like,
oh,
that doesn't need to be a thing. Like if that is a feature, if that is not a bug and is in fact a feature, I would like there to be some sort of switch to turn that feature off besides just unplugging the computer entirely.
The power supply literally has a switch on the back.
I wanted a switch on the front, darn it. Make it convenient. Make it convenient for me to be energy efficient. Darn it.
Shut up. Just do it. Just save the planet.
But like that said, though, I do feel like people do need to relax a little bit. You know, your PCs are not going to get banned. And frankly, if California was banning your PCs, it's okay. You will still be able to play your PC games on the Steam Deck transition.
Dun 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 dun. Half-Life 3 confirmed. So the Steam Deck. I did actually kind of want to talk about that because there have also been some, at least like misconceptions or arguments going around about whether or not the storage on the Steam Deck is actually going to be upgradable. And I know that that's a very important factor for us because, well, for everybody, I think, because 512 gigs, even if you get the top end model, sure, you're going to have very fast storage, but that's going to run out pretty quickly, especially depending on what games you're playing on it. Oh my goodness. Like if you're going to download Final Fantasy XIV and all of its expansions, for instance, that's going to be a pretty massive download right there. It's going to take up quite a bit of space if you want The Witcher 3.
If you're the kind of person who plays Call of Duty, specifically Warzone or Modern Warfare, then you just straight up...
Definitely.
Yeah, that's like over 150 gigs.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, no.
You would straight up not be able to play it on the base model.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, probably. Either that or that's the only game that you can have on there.
Or it's going to run pretty slowly off like the SD cards, the micro SD that you put in.
Oh my goodness. That is so sad.
But
It's going to take 10 years to load
But of course,
any map.
we do have good news, don't we? We did get confirmations of certain things now, didn't we?
The answer is that it is upgradable, but it's not officially supported. In other words, yes, you can include more storage, but if for some reason that ends up not working right off the bat, or something like that, like if anything goes wrong regarding that, like it's not really their fault. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. They're not shaping this as a handheld video game console. They're shaping it as a handheld PC.
Yeah.
With customization at all, which means that if you do decide that you want to customize your Steam Deck by like changing certain components, yeah, the onus is going to be on you to ensure that they work.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that these things are interchangeable entirely at all is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It turns out like even the base model is actually interchangeable. You can actually replace the storage on the base model. It turns out.
Yes, you can. Yeah, that is true.
We originally thought that based on that type of storage that it would be soldered in.
Yeah.
And that you wouldn't be able to change it. And 64 gigs is all you would get outside of a micro SD card. No, even that's interchangeable.
Yeah.
Which is just astounding. It's incredible that these things are completely interchangeable. I also like how Gabe confirmed it.
I still don't know what he sounds like. I've never heard him speaking.
You've never seen an interview with him?
No. I just know what he looks like, and I know that basically everyone worships the man.
I will.
He's been called Jesus.
I will.
Giebus.
He has the beard of a Santa Claus at this point, or whatever.
Yeah.
I will put it this way: he sounds the way he looks.
So, does he sound like Santa Claus?
No, not that. It's more like, I don't know. We never heard him say ho ho ho, but
okay. But what if he just goes like, the Steam Deck is going to be a great product. We're selling it at a loss right now.
All I'm saying is that
this is a gift.
All I'm saying is that he sounds exactly like you'll hear his voice and think that fits perfectly. That is exactly like how I would have pictured him to sound.
Okay.
But no, he does not sound like Gandalf. No, it's it's a little more dumpy.
A little more dumpy. Okay.
A little more dumpy middle-aged man.
Okay.
Or I guess he's getting older now, but.
Oh yeah.
He is getting up there in years. He's got the beard and the hair for it now.
That's why he has to release Half-Life 3 before we have to say goodbye.
Depending on who you ask, Half-Life Alyx was Half-Life 3, but.
No, it wasn't. Most people are going to say, "Oh, great! Like this is a great in-between game."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories.
It was a prequel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a prequel.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure most people still want Half-Life 3. Like they're happy with Alyx if they have a VR headset, but the majority of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So. And Valve Index is $1,000, by the way.
It is expensive, but it's also apparently like the premier headset. Like it's the top of the range one, isn't it?
Well, I mean that's great if I could afford it.
What I'm saying is that is the what's the word I'm looking for? That is the enthusiast model.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want a VR headset, period, then you just go with like an Oculus or a Vive or the HP Reverb or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go for Valve Index if you're an enthusiast who wants like the premier, top of the line, best hardware possible. Like that. The Index is not for everyone.
Right. Yeah. And I mean the price tag is very evident of that. However, the Steam Deck is for everyone.
I was going to say the Steam Deck is way more competitive in price compared to other devices of its ilk, which often went well over $1,000 while performing worse.
Yeah, and I mean in this system you have both a regular controller and a Steam controller built onto it because it's got the double trackpads and stuff.
And in all of the fervor and hype that I had for the device upon its announcement, all the possibilities of games you can play on and stuff like that, I had completely looked over the fact that it has gyro controls.
Oh yes.
I did not even realize that until a couple of days ago.
So it's even better.
You can play Doom with gyro controls.
Yeah.
Which you can totally not do on any other device whatsoever. There are no other devices that can do Doom with gyro controls.
Right. Not a single one that I can name off the top of my head right now.
None whatsoever.
None.
Especially for Doom on sale. Actually, that's the thing. Doom does not go on sale on the Switch. at all.
Really?
I think the cheapest I've ever seen it is like maybe $30.
Oh.
Like it goes on sale the same tier as like Skyrim.
Then it does go on sale.
Very rarely though.
But it does go on sale.
Very rarely and not good enough.
$30, I mean...
For a 5-year-old game.
Doom is worth it.
That you can get for $5 to $7 on PC.
If you have one.
With a higher performance.
If you have one.
And with the current... and now with a Steam Deck. And now with a Steam Deck. There is no excuse. Nope.
I don't know. I'm
buying Doom for PC here.
Wait, so you still don't have Doom for PC?
I'm waiting for it to show up on Game Pass, honestly.
What the man? It's been too long. It's been too long. I think I bought Doom around the time where it came out, and dude, like...
Oh no, it's great. I have played it, it's great.
It's the only FPS game that I actually like, and that I like a lot.
It is a trip, I know that.
Mm-hmm. The soundtrack is great too.
And like I was going to buy it eventually, but then when Bethesda got bought up by Microsoft, and they're like, "Oh, these games are going to be going to Game Pass now," I'm like, "All right," so I'll just wait for Doom to show up there. And while Doom Eternal is there, regular Doom is not, and I don't understand why. Like literally every single Doom game except for 2016 Doom is there.
Yeah, that is pretty odd. I mean, maybe it's because, like you said, you can get it for so cheap nowadays. So, you know, like you said, you can just get it for $5 or $7.
Yeah.
And you do have a last gen console, so I think you'll be fine. Yes.
No, but like, what was I gonna say? Yeah, gyro controls, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to appreciate that, especially considering that people were saying that gyro controls on the Steam controller is like unrivaled.
You know what this is making me think of?
What?
Because I was looking up some stuff earlier for a potential bonus episode on the Patreon. And what I came to realize that the Super Monkey Ball game that's coming out later this year, the one that's being like remastered of like the old good ones, stuff like that, it is coming to PC.
Oh, sick.
And so now I'm wondering if it's possible that the Steam Deck could have gyro compatibility with the game.
I don't see why not.
I would hope so. It would be very nice to be able to...
Is it coming to Steam?
Yeah. I'm presuming yes.
Yeah, you can customize the controls on there. Like that's the thing about the Steam controller back then. That's that you can customize just about everything on it.
So my question though, when it comes to gyro controls on the Steam Deck, like, what is that like? Is it just registering like mouse movements as your gyro controls, or like?
I mean,
like, is the gyro controls on a Steam Deck or the Steam controller like before modifying or like that? Does it assume that like the gyro controls account for left mouse or whatever? I'm only saying left mouse button. It is only one mouse. So.
Yeah, right. Unless you use two. But yeah, like I mean, it would just go like in whatever direction you turn your controller to. So now, like with the Steam Deck, I don't think it's going to be as convenient because like you're looking at a screen and then like tilting it and stuff for gyro controls. So I don't think it's going to be quite as efficient unless you're playing docked, I guess. But then at that point, you kind of need a controller that also. But yeah, a lot of controllers have gyro. And the Steam controller also exists.
Do they still sell it?
Nope.
All right, then. It's a moot point.
Yeah, I'm going to keep mine until like it's old enough, and then I can scalp it.
Which, speaking of, I'm actually very curious.
Yeah?
As we've gone further and further into Steam Deck reservations, which I'm presuming they're still doing. What are the scalper prices looking like right now?
Oh, well, let's go ahead.
Let's get ourselves a scalper update.
Sure. Now, it is worth noting. I do want to say that supposedly eBay had put a stop to people selling the Steam Deck because they have a policy where you're only allowed to sell things on eBay that can be shipped within the next 30 days of it being ordered.
Really?
Yeah.
That has never stopped people before. With like the PS5 pre-order scalping and...
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, when did they choose to pick this in particular? Okay, there is no Steam Deck on eBay.
Actually, I just realized people actually can get around it though. They can, because if they're selling you a pre-order, the shipment is instant. They're shipping you the receipt. They're shipping you the information.
Probably,
so technically it's instantaneous.
Well, those people will complain. Oh, dude, like the Switch OLED isn't here either, so they took that down too. Good.
PS5s.
Oh well.
I know those currently exist with sale.
Yeah.
I just want to see.
Yeah, those are currently out on the market. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look as well. So when it comes to scalper prices at the moment, I'm seeing an all digital one over here for $850. $850 again. Oh, but this is for the disc version actually. Oh,
better deal.
Yeah, that is indeed a better deal. 888 for the disc version. Okay, so it looks like the prices aren't as terrible as they were before.
Still pretty abysmal.
Yeah, still pretty bad. Like,
that first listing, you're still talking like double the price for a digital one.
Yeah, which is not worth it. There aren't that many games on the PlayStation 5, except for Final Fantasy VII Remake with episode Yuffie. That's going to be...
I can't believe, for as much as you talked about it, you didn't even mention Demon Souls there.
Oh, and Demon Souls. I forgot about Demon Souls. Whoops. But one other thing that I also wanted to mention here, and I actually think that you might be very interested in this. But let's see. Sonic Colors is coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, you knew that?
Yeah.
Man, I wanted to surprise you, dude.
I knew about Sonic Colors Remastered.
I knew about Sonic Colors Remastered.
Yeah.
Like, you just took the wind off my sails. I don't know. I don't really know how that saying goes, but you got me messed up here. I'm pretty mad at you.
It's nice. Is it coming to PC? I don't remember that. If I can play it on Steam Deck instead.
Oh my goodness.
I actually am reaching that point where it's like with the Steam Deck coming out and me having reserved a copy and stuff like that, I'm probably just going to buy almost all games on PC now, with the exception of like Switch exclusives.
Right.
Like before, it's like, oh, if I want to play on the go, then I'll get it on Switch. But now it's like, why do that when you can probably get it running better on a Steam Deck in a couple months? Granted,
I want to reserve my judgment for this, but I feel like the Steam Deck is going to look a little bit goofy playing with it on the go.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter because you're going to be the coolest one in there, right?
I had no problems playing a Vita outside. You think I'm going to have a problem with a Steam Deck?
Oh, I mean, the Vita's a lot smaller.
But it was a Vita.
So?
It was a Vita.
Do you know how much people love the Vita now?
I do too. But like, nevertheless, I was still the oddball on the train with a Vita while other people are like using 3DSs or whatever.
I really don't think that that's as big of a deal as using a Steam Deck versus a Switch on the train.
Listen, I could use a Steam Deck and I could play every single game ever. It's a great conversation starter. People will be like, whoa.
Dude, it's a Game Gear.
You're playing GTA on the go? And I'll be like, yeah. And they'll be like, give it.
Run your pockets, buddy.
And that's how I lost my Steam Deck.
Hey, which one did you order? Did you order the mid-range? Or?
Yeah, I got the 256.
Okay, the 256. Okay, gotcha.
And I'm not going... And while it would be nice to be able to just drop further down for the 64 if I truly can replace the storage or whatever, or even just upgrade to the other one so I can get that sick custom keyboard, I don't want to cancel my reservation to get a spot like way later down.
No.
Because they're probably taking reservations like Q3 or Q4 at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if now we're looking at reservations for 2023.
Can we actually check?
Probably. Let me see. Steam Deck. Let's go ahead and take a look. While I'm looking into this, though,
Steam Decks.
I typed in Steam Deck, though. So while we're looking into this, oh, well, never mind. I'm already here. Oh, no. So we're looking at Q2 2022, actually, for all three models.
They are very confident.
Yeah, definitely.
They are very confident that it'll ramp up. Honestly, probably the reason why they had that reservation, that estimation still, it's probably because they're realizing how big of a deal, like, this currently is, and they're probably working right now to actually increase production and like get started now or something like that.
That's a possibility, yeah.
I fully think it's possible. Of course, that does have concerns.
Yeah.
It has concerns of like build quality later, or certain features on here that did not come off as super well received from the people who were able to preview it, like the D-pad. Well, no, the D-pad. Was it the D-pad that had?
I just don't like the positioning of the D-pad, but it does have the kind of D-pad I would like.
Mm-hmm.
Those who have been able to test the prototype did say that it was relatively clicky, but not really like as clicky as some might prefer. And I do like my really clicky D-pads. I just don't like the positioning. I feel like like the bottom of it is just going to be like hanging off my hands like this while I'm holding it like that.
There's definitely a little bit of concern for that. Yeah, the D-pad is also kind of small, so you're probably not going to be a pro Street Fighter player on a Steam Deck, but
or maybe you will. Who
no.
knows?
Remember when Street Fighter came out in 3DS and how amazing that was at the time?
I have it actually on
Yeah,
3DS.
same.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah, it's really
amazing.
cool.
Like no, it was about maybe 4 or 5 years or something like that after it came out, and you have Street Fighter with all the characters on a 3DS.
Of all things, yeah.
That was amazing.
Uh-huh. Do you know what else is amazing?
What?
I've been dying to tell you this too. I officially now have every Final Fantasy game from 1 through 15 on a single system.
Pixel remasters?
The Pixel remasters came out on the 28th.
Yes.
And I downloaded 1 and 2.
I
feel complete.
I heard, the games came out, and I'm probably going to pick them up, honestly. But, like, I heard particularly good things about, one, the music. I heard the music has actually been, like, remastered to be, like, better than it ever has been.
Ooh, sweet.
Apparently. And two, they apparently have a really good CRT filter option.
I'm probably not going to play.
I think it's worth looking at, though. I feel like it's worth looking at.
I don't really like the retro look, though. I much prefer the widescreen.
That's fair. But like, yeah, apparently
I mean, that's a me thing.
It's a really good. Like, it's not only just the scan lines, but there's also like actual apparently like little pops and stuff like that in there too, like an actual CRT.
Yeah.
You could probably like get your Steam Deck, get your Pixel remasters, and then put the CRT mode, and then you can really be playing a Game Gear. It's like a real Game Gear.
More like a Gabe Gear.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I'm so sloppy with the buttons. But anyway, I would say, yeah, that's pretty much everything that we've got for today in terms of news. I would say, quite a few important mentions here, and I'm excited for the Steam Deck. I'm going to keep saying that until I have it. And
yeah, we're going to follow it with great interest.
Yes, indeed. Everyone is.
Definitely.
Now, with that said, thanks so much for watching tonight's episode of the Tech Summit podcast. Well, let's just pretend that it's nighttime, even though it is 12 p.m. Eastern time. And all of you, Tier 2s and Tier 3 patrons, you've been automatically entered to win the Razer Siren Mini. Best of luck to you all this month. And also a piece of merch of your choice from the Spreadshop Tech Summit store. And yeah, at the end of the month, we'll be choosing a winner. So again, thanks a lot for pledging.
Of course. Quick question.
Yes.
When it comes to the Pixel remasters, which one are you playing first?
1.
Oh, you're gonna go that way. All right.
Yeah.
All right. If you are watching on YouTube,
I'm stalling to play too.
If you're watching on if you're watching on YouTube, all the social media will be at the bottom of the video.
And if you're listening on other platforms such as Anchor, Spotify, etc., then do make sure to check out the description. With that said, this has been Francisco
and Chris,
and we'll be seeing you all next time for episode 60. Enjoy.
Good night. Travel well.